One thing a lot of you know, and probably a lot of you don't know about me, is that I'm not just a comic book artist. I'm also a gamer, and have been for as long as I can remember. I play all kinds of games, from Resident Evil to Pokemon, and of course, Skyrim. Skyrim is actually the game that finally got me to move away from the console wars and into building my very first PC way back in around 2008. And the things about Skyrim on the PC that motivated me to finally take the leap into the wide world of PC gaming were the mods. These days I have all kinds of mods for all kinds of games, ranging from alternate costumes in games like Batman Arkham Knight and Marvel's Spider-Man, to entire new places to explore with custom missions to go on in games like Skyrim. And I used to get every mod I could from a little website you may have heard of called Nexus Mods. And today I'm going to be talking about that exact website, because you may not have heard, but good old Nexus Mods ain't what it used to be. So without holding this video up any longer, g'day everyone, I'm Dean James, your mate in comics from the land down under. If you haven't already, please like this video to help push it out into the algorithm, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Now let's jump into the absolute state of Nexus Mods in 2025. For those of you who don't know, and this is according to Wikipedia, Nexus Mods is a website that hosts computer game modifications and other user-created content related to video game modding. It is one of the largest gaming mod sites on the web, with 30 million registered members and 3,146 supported games as of October 2024, with a single forum and a wiki for site and mod-related topics. Now you're probably wondering why I'm making a video about this, considering that all sounds like pretty standard stuff, and not at all what I usually cover on this channel. But just bear with me for a second, because I'm getting to that. Because you see, over the last few years, since about 2016, I wonder what happened that year that made the moderators lose their minds. Nexus Mods has been at the centre of many controversies, and rightfully so. Since around that time, they've been caught repeatedly censoring mods they didn't agree with politically, while heavily pushing and promoting mods that they did. The first instance that I can remember of this happening was a mod that turned all of the gay pride flags in Marvel's Spider-Man into American flags. A mod that was extremely popular and one of their most downloaded for Marvel's Spider-Man, which they then removed because it was apparently breaking their rules against hate speech and violence. How exactly? There's still no answer. Last I checked, Spider-Man is an American superhero, and him swinging through the city before landing on the pole of an American flag was an iconic moment featured in almost all of his movies, up until the most recent Disney ventures. When users rightfully started complaining and asking why the mod was removed, they were quickly banned from the site, some permanently for pointing out the double standards when it came to other comparable mods that would replace all flags with the pride flag, or even other countries' flags. But this was just the beginning. As the years went on, Nexus Mods has become more and more aggressive with their pushing of left-leaning American politics by removing mods and even banning the mods' creators from their site. Everything from a mod that made a black character white, a gay character straight, or even silly ones like Donald Trump's head on Captain America in Marvel Rivals, because Orange Man bad. All while allowing comparable mods like ones that turn white characters black, a straight character gay, or Barack Obama in a Spider-Man costume. Editing Dean here. While getting screenshots to show you guys all of this, I found out that after massive backlash, Nexus Mods did actually remove the Obama mod, in a sad attempt to save face. But it was way too late. The damage to their reputation was already done, and they have still kept all of those other mentioned mods around. Something as minor as removing the option to have they-them pronouns in STARFIELD was swiftly banned, and the creators punished as if they were literally killing people by creating these mods. They even went as far as banning users who complained on separate platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter, for things they said on there. All of this from a website that allows literal porn mods on their site. But if you were even slightly right of centre politically, you were deemed problematic by these now clearly power-mad moderators. Now, I'm not saying they should also ban those mods, quite the opposite actually. I'm definitely against all of the racist diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about allowing players to choose what they do and don't want to see. About the freedom of choice. A mod, after all, only affects your version of the game, and doesn't change anything any other player can see on their computers. It's about freedom of expression, for everyone, not just those with the politically correct opinions. Because what even is politically correct? The term itself infers that there is a politically incorrect, which if you don't 100% agree with these terminally online leftist lunatics, you apparently are. And isn't that the entire point of a mod in the first place? A way for creative players to inject more life into games that otherwise would have died out after years without any new content? for their own enjoyment. Nobody is forcing you to download any mod you're not interested in, and I would never suggest we censor all of the mods I don't agree with. I just won't download them. It's as simple as that. But Dean, it's their platform. They can choose what they do and don't want on there. Nice try, strawman I just made up. If that was the case, they shouldn't advertise themselves as a place for gamers to find mods, and instead promote themselves as a safe space where their very niche group of supporters can go and pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist. Especially considering their ideas have been almost completely rejected by gamers as a whole, which can be seen in my videos on Sweet Baby Inc. At the end of the day, it's either a website for all mods, or it's a website for their own echo chamber of affirmation. It can't be both. It's gotten so bad that they can't even post anything on X without the comments being full of people complaining about their dystopian censorship. Check out these tweets. This is Nexus Mod's pinned tweet, so it's at the very top of their page. And as you can see, it's just them celebrating their 24th anniversary. But only one comment in, and you can already see people turning on them. Flying Cookies tweeted, "Woke retards celebrating themselves. Fuck off." Then this next comment directly below it. "Hey bro, fuck y'all for raising the premium price to $10. Shit used to be only $5. Your biggest games on that site cost less than this bullshit ass premium service, and I only buy and use this shit for huge mod packs. Y'all are gonna lose hella money and subscriptions doing this shit." That's actually something I didn't even mention in this video, but as that comment said, they've raised their prices on everything. Which is really weird to me, considering that mods are a thing created by other players for free, so I'm not even sure what you're paying for when it comes to their premium services. And then just below that, 24 years of abysmal dogshit and censorship. Do you know how much money I've paid you fucking clowns over the years? And now you're taking down mods and applying censorship, but only to things that don't align with your political beliefs? What a fucking joke. Fuck Nexus sites and fuck the UK. Someone else says, "Woke shit." And then another, "You guys are a cancer. Claim to be for modding games how players want, and then you ban anything that hurts your feelings or disagrees with your politics? Pathetic." Then we have another commenter complaining that his original game files have been removed because of illegal content. Sounds like bullshit to me. No matter where you go to check out Nexus mods, whether it's on X, Steam, or even their own forums, the comments are all the same. Of course you have some idiots defending them because they happen to agree with their choices to censor certain voices in the gaming community, but let's be honest, nobody expects anything different from those commie douchebags anyway. But as gamers, what can we even do about this? There are other modding sites out there like Based Mods and DEG Mods, but they're both relatively new compared to Nexus mods, and don't have the massive user base that Nexus had built over the years before they started all of this woke censorship bullshit. I recommend you go to any or all of these alternatives, because as of right now, they are the only places you can still find the mods that have been removed. That doesn't solve the problem, obviously, but if Gamergate taught me anything, it's that gamers as a whole are extremely organised when it comes to avoiding all of this shit that we don't want to see in our games. Seriously, shout out to all of the gamers who immediately went off and made ways for us to avoid anything made by Sweet Baby Inc., for example. You've made it pretty clear that you will not be subversed out of your hobby the way comic book fans failed to, and for that, I thank you. But now I want to hear what you guys think. What solutions even are there for this sort of issue? Do you guys have any alternatives that I didn't mention in this video? Because I'm sure there is some. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts, because that's all I have for you today. As always, I'm Dean James, your mate in comics and video games from the land down under. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.